Hey everybody, I thought I'd give y'all an update on the garden since we had like 7 nights of way below freezing temperatures. We got down into the teens. The onions actually froze. The dirt was, I came out here to we was going to poke some potato onions in yesterday or day before yesterday. I don't remember, either yesterday or day before yesterday, and about 2 inches of the soil was completely frozen and I couldn't put them in. But I watered them when we were going to have the low temperatures because I was told that it won't drop below. If it freezes at 32, then below the soil where the roots of the plants are won't freeze because it'll freeze at 32, the top layer or two. And I guess that worked because most of the onions survived. Now there's a few of them looking a little iffy. And yeah, some of them that were younger that I started later and stuck in, they didn't make it. They just turned to nothing. And we covered, well, as you can see, some of the coverings are still here. I thought there's no point in putting them away if we're fixing to have some more of those freezing temperatures. I did put some of them away in the utility room. Most all of this here looks like it's going to make it. That's the potato onions I came out to put in and couldn't put in, but today it wasn't frozen and I didn't have any problems. And these 3 beds right here didn't get covered at all. At all. You can see the burn on that broccoli there, but you can see a little broccoli head there. So if we don't get any more extreme low temperatures, and the next, look here, some of my celery just totally bought the farm. I mean, it's gone. But the bottoms didn't freeze, see? And it'll grow out new shoots, so I'm not going to pull it up and take it out. And these collards here tolerated it just fine. Didn't seem to bother them at all. And everybody says it actually makes them sweeter after they get a good hard frost on them. And as you can see, these celery here really got burned. I mean, they just like melted. They're awful. But I'm not going to take them out because, like I said, all these new shoots will come out and make the celery. Now, whether these cabbages here make it, it's a little bit doubtful. And these broccolis here, see how burnt the leaves are? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm not going to call it quits on them just yet. I'm going to give them, a week or so to tell me if they're going to survive and thrive. This bed I had covered completely. And it's got carrot, celery, and mustard, and this one red cabbage here. And it did pretty good. Now, some of the leaves got burnt on the celery and the mustard. And I pulled out some cabbage here that was starting to head. Actually, I took out 4. And I gave 2 to a friend, and I cooked 2. And she said that was the best cabbage she'd ever had. And it just had a tiny little head. It was just beginning to head. But this one was covered, and it did pretty well. And soon we'll get broccoli from it. And I got a cabbage here that's beginning to head up, see? So it's just the way, I guess, that I took those out. And this bed right here was covered. And it did pretty good. Nothing seems to be damaged too bad in here. I had all this covered, and I had these covered. It's in the grow bags now. They would freeze. Everything in here would freeze quicker than in the raised beds. But they all look okay. And got a little head there on that broccoli. Won't be long before we'll be able to harvest it. So yeah, I praise God. Some of the stuff over here that was, not even, it was totally exposed. I didn't even try to cover it. And I thought if it makes it, it makes it. If it don't, it don't, because I ran out of something to cover it with. And look, this broccoli is making a head. The head didn't get burnt, but you can see the leaves right there did. Pretty good. I've already give y'all a whole bunch of kale and mustard. Today I'm not giving you any more. And this broccoli's making a head. And this lettuce here underneath these cabbage leaves didn't get burned at all, which is surprising. Really surprising. As you can see, the grass is taking over all that, but that's more or less for the chickens. They get all that. So that's just my garlics. Didn't seem to bother them though. They looking a little yellow, like they might have got a little burn, but I think they'll come out of that. And I had just fertilized them before we got that hard freeze. I see one red cabbage over here that probably is not gonna make it. This one here is, we'll wait and see, but it's looking pretty pitiful. All right, I just thought I'd give y'all a quick update. I know I'm not the only person that's been battling this 6-7 days of below freezing temperatures, abnormal cold for us. Now I remember cold like this when I was growing up, even when I was raising my kids, but it's been a long time and we're just not used to it anymore. But maybe we should get used to it again, because after we had that hard freeze in December of 22, in 23 I grew pumpkins out here. Didn't have the first vine borer get in them. And all the summers before that I grew pumpkins, I fought vine borers every summer. They would just ravage the vines. If it weren't a machata, like a Walton butternut or a Seminole or a Cherokee tan or something like that, they would decimate them. You would be lucky if you got one fruit. Well, as many chickens as I got there, you'd think I'd be using some of that chicken litter out of the coop. But I'm kind of hesitant to do that with, especially with root crops that I'm going to be eating the roots. So I would do it with some of those above ground crops, which I haven't yet. But maybe when I get some beds ready, start getting some beds ready for some summer crops, I might mix a little chicken litter in there. Some I know that's old and it's not going to burn everything up. I put in the bed. Most of what you want to grow in the summer, you don't want to give it a lot of nitrogen. Like tomatoes and peppers and stuff. They like a little nitrogen, but they don't like an overload. All right, I'm going to cut this off here. I don't want to ramble, and I will. I'm prone to do that. God bless.